My name is Dylan Luciano, and again, I work for the Concord Police Department. I'm honored to speak before you today about Matt on behalf of the Concord Police Department and the officers that he worked side by side with. I had the opportunity to work with Matt during his time at our police department. Matt was hired in 2019 after graduating the Napa Police Academy, and in June of 2023, he lateraled to the Vacaville Police Department. Like the chief said, he left for the right reasons, to be closer to his family. And although we selfishly wanted to keep him, I can say after my drives to Dixon and Vacaville the last week and a half, I don't blame him. Matt and I were partners in the city's Northern District for about a year and a half, and I also had the opportunity to work with him as he progressed through his field training program. It sounds cliche to say, but the words and stories that I'm going to share with you today cannot do him justice. Simply put, Matt was one of the good ones. Matt quickly became known as a funny, humble, and down-to-earth coworker, and his smile and his easygoing spirit made each shift alongside of him that much easier. Matt was always there when you needed him. During his time at Concord, he was involved in some of our city's most critical incidents. In fact, as we began to discuss some memories about Matt, it kind of dawned on us that he seemed to be a bit of a common denominator in a lot of these crazy incidents that happened. We have a nightclub in our city that elicits calls for service nightly. In all honesty, security was sharing in some of the responsibilities of those problems. We learned that Matt, prior to becoming a police officer, had actually supervised one of these security guards who now worked at that club. And as soon as that information made it out, every problem at that nightclub became Matt's. And for that, we're sorry for that, buddy. But Matt's calm demeanor did not come at a price for performing during critical incidents. On a graveyard shift, Matt and several other officers responded to a violent domestic violence shooting that occurred in our city's Southern District. Within seconds of arrival, Matt and another officer heroically kicked the victim's door down, making entry into the unknown to find two people that were shot, one of them critically. They then learned that the suspect had fled the scene prior to police arrival. However, he was quickly apprehended the next day. After providing emergency medical care to the victims, they were transported to the hospital where they both survived. The quick actions of Matt and his team that day were nothing short of heroic, and it came at a time when seconds mattered more than anything. On another occasion, when Matt was on field training, several other officers, Matt and I, we were chasing a felony suspect that had come into our city stemming from a vehicle pursuit from the sheriff's office. A sheriff's canine was on scene, and we had tracked the suspect into a backyard. The suspect began jumping fences, and during the chaos of attempting to redeploy officers to the area where the suspect was running, you could see the sheriff's canine frantically looking around, and then he locks in on Matt. I swear the helicopter pilot above could have seen it coming. It felt like hours, but it was really only a quarter of a second, and Matt got bit. Matt stood as still as a statue, not moving a muscle for seconds. Again, I can only imagine it felt like hours. For the handler quickly pulled the dog off, and Matt continued with the apprehension of the suspect until he was eventually taken into custody. And I asked Matt if he was okay, and he said something about it just kind of bit my leg. And I said, well, that's not very specific, and that is what they do. But he went on his shift that day. He never mentioned a word about it, and to this day, I still have no idea how bad that bite was. There are so many other instances where Matt made his mark. On one occasion, he was pursuing the pursuing officer in a long-distance, slow-speed pursuit of a violent carjacking suspect that entered the city of Antioch, and he and another officer took the person into custody. Another time, he was on scene attempting life-saving measures on a shooting victim that unfortunately resulted in a homicide in a years-long homicide investigation. And I tell these stories to sum up as best as I can that to us, Matt was the get-it-done type of guy. During my grieving process, I talked with one of my mentors about Matt, and I was trying to find the words to describe why he so quickly became accepted as such a fantastic beat partner. And he told me this was simple: character over credentials. In law enforcement, there's a place for evaluating someone's credentials. during the hiring process and the executive review of applicants and such, and Matt most certainly had those. But when you are on the beat, the officers and the leaders that stand beside you in that very moment when you and your partner's lives and well-being are on the line, lacking good character is simply a non-starter. Matt's dedication to his partners, his let's do it mentality, and quick decision-making made Matt a sought-after person to work with. He embodied everything you would want in a good beat partner, and he passed the character test by all accounts. Matt's memory will never be forgotten. Every new police officer that comes to our police department will know who Officer Matthew Bowen was, what he meant to us, and the type of police officer and man that he was for our city. I would tell any new officer, if I could give you a roadmap to be successful, be like Matt. And to the Bowen family, thank you for raising and loving such a caring, funny, fantastic man, husband, father, son, brother, and police officer. And from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for sharing him with us. Matt will forever be a part of the Concord Police Department's history, and more importantly, he and the Bowen family will be a part of our future. We will keep his memory alive, the lessons that he taught us, and he will continue to improve our organization and our profession. As we move through our careers and our lives with heavy hearts, we will hold Matt's memory close and strive each day to be better peace officers for our community, better people in this world, and to be the get it done police officers. Until we meet again, we love you, buddy. Thank you.